So Vikram Sinha, President, Director, and CEO of Indosat Ooredoo Hutchinson, and Mohapatra, CEO of Comviva. A very warm welcome to you both. I think we're going to hear a little bit about your story. So I think then we're going to do a bit of Q&A. So you're going to talk to us, I believe, now. So
sure, Mark. Let me. Greetings from Indonesia. Today, I'll break my presentation into three parts. I think we all talk about being in right place at right time is very important, and I'll tell you why, and why it is important to be in Indonesia. In Indonesia, Mark, you spoke about Indosat Ooredoo Hutchinson. The strongest brand there is Indosat. It's a 55-year-old legacy. You go to any villages, it needs no introduction. And then finally, Indosat got into a 3-year transformation journey. So I'll share that story with all of you, what our learning has been. And from there, from strength, we got into merger. So IOH was born on 4th January. And I know we heard about merger, challenges, opportunities, synergy value. So we'll share a bit about how the journey has been, and I'll conclude it again with Indonesia, why it is important to be in the right place at right time. If somebody can help me with this slide up. Yeah. When we talk about Indonesia, many of you, the immediate, what comes to mind is Bali. I'm sure many of you have been there for holiday. If not, you must go. It's like heaven. But look at Jakarta, the capital city, the second most populous in the world. And then look at Southeast Asia. We were talking about Malaysia, Philippines, Thailand. 50% of the unicorn is coming from Indonesia. Indonesia will be the 10th biggest GDP by 2030. I'll not go up to 2045, but especially look at digital indicators. All these things are building up to what I said. But more powerful, today, as I speak, the digital GMV, the gross merchandise value of Indonesia is $70 billion today. This, by 2025, will be around 146 billion. And this is where the role of telco and companies like Indosat come into play. We heard a lot about platform play, but I'll build a bit on it. And this is why I said that it is very important to be in the right place at right time. With all these background, Indosat is a very strong brand in Indonesia. It needs no introduction. We got into a 3-year transformation journey with a single-minded focus of bringing the glory of Indosat brand. These are some of the credible numbers from third party. Look at EBITDA among the top 5 in APEC. Look at revenue. I think what is important to share is we were able to grow 7x of the market. Market was growing 2%, 3%. We were growing 14%. And that we did it for 12 quarters. The analysts in 2020, after 4 quarters, 5 quarters, they were doubting, is it sustainable? It will happen. But we delivered it for 12 quarters. And the good thing is, EBITDA was growing 2x of the revenue. And what it did was, look at the market capitalization, look at the enterprise value. Why am I showing this slide? I've been in the telco industry for 2 decades, and we have seen the valuation has gone to all our friends from OTT. And I think it is very important to reflect back and ask this question, what we need to do differently to ensure that we get the right value. With all these background, and I think it is important to note, IOH was born. We were born on 4th January. In fact, I'm counting days. We are close to 264, 65 days. The important thing, whenever you have merger, when you are bringing two different culture, two different set of people with very different style of working, is to connect them on one purpose-driven organization. And our purpose, what really galvanized the entire organization was, connect we all do in telco. But what took us to next step is to empower societies and communities. We are all human beings. When you work with people, you need to have something which is very purpose-driven. I think we heard about when you have merger, what merger does is, and this is a trend, you will see many merger. It is very important to have scale in our business. And then we are very blessed to have shareholder like Ooredoo Group, CK Hutchinson, and we are equally honored and proud to have government as part of our shareholder. So we got the scale, we got to a level of 28, 29% revenue market share, spectrum market share. And this is where, spectrums are asset for the country. And it is very important that these things are used properly. So that was another thing which, we really worked in our favor. When you talk about merger, I remember having a analyst call with more than 200 analysts from all over the world with both my shareholder. Everyone is only talking about, oh wow, what is the synergy value? So we said 300 to 400 million US dollar in 3 to 5 years. This was pre-merger. This discussion happened in September. Happy to share with all of you that 8 months down the line, we are now very confident that we'll be on the higher end. This merger will deliver more than 400, and it will do it in 3 to 4 years, not even 5 years. And these are our results. I think it's very heartening to see. There were two concerns which was coming from all the analysts and media and market. Number one, whenever merger happen, you lose market share. We added close to 2 million customers within 2 quarters. Last quarter, we added 1.6 million customers. And the best thing is the net promoter score. Now we have 2 brands, IM3 and 3. It is growing for both. I think it is important for me to share with you the whole theme. I spoke about we want to be a purpose-driven company. The whole purpose of empowering Indonesia. I heard some comment about SMEs. Indonesia has 62 million SMEs. And that is the opportunity size. Today morning, I bumped into Cloudwell CEO. I had never met him. I just met him here. And we are working on a marketplace in partnership with Google, Cloudwell, and we are welcoming others also. But the whole approach is, how do we really solve real problem? How do we really empower them? Gotong Royong, this is the thing, the key message I want to share with all of you is, this decade is all about collaboration. Indonesia is very unique. I'm not sure how many of you know. Indonesia as a country is number 2 in the world when it comes to giving index. You go to any small villages also, people really work together and make sure that they are adding value. And I think this is where I'm inviting all the partners, everyone, that at IOH, we are here. We are very open for collaboration. And this is where, with Mau also, we have done few things which we are very proud of. Again, small story, I'll take 30 seconds. 2019, Indonesia was exporting nickel ore, just exporting nickel ore, $1 billion US. They took a bold decision. They stopped it. And they diverted that into steel manufacturing. Take a guess. 2021, they have become the second largest steel exporter in the world. The number is $35 billion US. See, there's a key learning here. And they don't stop here. Now it has moved to EV batteries. See, the point is, all of us, including some of our partners sitting here, we have an opportunity to really work together and see the opportunity and the upside which is coming from a country like Indonesia. I heard few comments around NPS and the importance of it. I'll be very honest with all of you. In Indonesia, in Bahasa, we call it jujurly, very honest. I think it is very important to know what not to do when it comes to NPS. In 2019, I let go of 25 million revenue. I consider it as a toxic revenue. And I was happy when I was listening to some of our partners, how they have moved their focus from conventional VAS to transparent value-adding product. So I think numbers speak for itself, how we have grown NPS by taking some of those bold decisions. Again, I want to take this opportunity, the importance of collaboration, how we work together. There's a clear opportunity, how we come together and make sure that we are able to tap onto it. Thank you very much, and I'm sure this will inspire many of you to look at Indonesia more seriously.
Vikram, thank you very much. So we have some time to talk about Indonesia and the potential of a telecoms operator in Indonesia. So your growth and then your transformation strategy and how your partners such as Comviva are part of that and will continue to be part of that. So looking at what you described in terms of Indonesia as a society, as a country, from a telco perspective, a lot of that is B2B growth. A lot of that is what we've been discussing this morning. How well set up do you think you are? How well, as an organization, are you well positioned to tap into that, or do you need to transform your organization to do that?
So it's a very good question, Mark. We are in that journey, and especially post-merger. On one side, we are setting a clear example that there's only one culture. We have an opportunity to set a new culture, and that belongs to IOH. But I'll give you a small example. We have created a marketplace in 3 months, and that too post-merger. I was told by Google guys and our partner that most of the telco takes 12 months. So I think these are the example. It is about the whole new way of working. That is very, very important. And that is what I was trying to say, that as telco guys, we need to be very clear what not to do so that we are able to cope up on that.
And so, Mao, if I can bring you in as a strategic partner for IOH, what have you seen that has pleased you as a technology partner in terms of how you work with IOH, and to what extent have you felt you've had a role to go in there and help to sort of shape that culture and to partner with IOH?
We as a technology partner work with almost 70, 80 telcos globally. I think there's one thing that clearly stands out in working with IOH is their approach to the partnership. It's a complete win-win, not just by word, but by spirit. And they're willing to treat the partner as one amongst them. There's complete integration, and hence the accountability and rewards.
So if we can drill down into that, so what does that integration mean on the ground on a day-to-day basis?
You are part of the planning. You are not asked to execute a plan, but you know why the plan and how the plan is. You are an integral part of the internal. I'm just to tell you, I have seen most telcos have 2 sets of reports, a report that goes to the partner and the report that's internally circulated. It's maybe a very tiny thing, but there is no such 2 sets of reports. It's one common data, one common view, one common forum to beat everybody down.
Interesting. And if I can go back to IOH and go back to B2B world, which I'm still processing and thinking about, are you clear of where you can play a role and where you can't play a role, and where you need to bring in partners, and whether sort of working with Comviva can? I mean, I know that you have partners that you can bring in, I guess. So what are your thoughts around where you sit in the value chain, partnerships, where you do and where you don't play?
I think the key here, Mark, is to start from a customer point of view, and then work backward. So I'll give you a small example. You know, we started our journey with Comviva in 2019 on the CVM platform. The ARPU growth, we have been doing best because we were very clear that what customer is looking, how contextual we want to make it. So these are some of the examples, but we need to be on the value chain of the customer. We just don't want to be a connectivity partner. I have 100 million customer. Connecting is one thing, but being a part of their life, what they need, and you don't need to do everything on their own. And this is where it is important. You need to work with world-class partner, like-minded people, and do it together. But at the end of the day, you have to keep customer in mind to make sure that we are adding value. This is the key which we have learned.
And I think Peter, when he spoke, talked about changing his salespeople into business consultants. So, I mean, I guess when I look at Indonesia, I see a massive consumer mobile market. It's legacy, and I guess you moved into B2B more recently. I guess so. In terms of those skills and capabilities, and wanting to deliver more than just connectivity. Again, how are you going about that yourself? Are you building teams of people to go and knock on doors and to say, what can we do for you? Is that your approach too?
This is a very important question. What we are doing is, yes, we need to have the right kind of people on our side, but our big bet is on having the right partner.
Yes.
We don't have to build everything yourself.
Yes.
Nobody can eat everything. You have to make sure that you have the right people. Partner also cannot deliver if you don't have the right mindset and the right operating model on your side. You have to help the partner to succeed. So that is one piece. But the bigger piece is if you try doing everything yourself, it's not going to work.
No.
So you have to really move fast,
Yeah.
get the right partner, like-minded partner, work like a true collaborative approach,
Yes.
and then you will see the result.
And I think your presentation, you were saying, I think your transformation, I think you mentioned back to 2019, and then now you've absorbed another company into the organization. So you have a broader cultural transformation, and there's a culture difference between the two businesses, Hutchinson and the new business. So, I mean, how different are those cultures? And I mean, again, what are the steps you do? What are the steps you go through to change that culture? Is it something that starts with training or bringing in new skills, or does it start at the top, the bottom, both, bottom up, top down?
This is where 80% of my time is going. So there is no one formula. You have to be very close to your people. But the key here is to connect everyone on a single purpose. This is what I was trying to highlight. We have to have larger than life purpose as an organization and how you galvanize the entire people around it. But there is no simple single formula. We call it softer aspect, but my learning, personal learning has been, it is top down. As management team, we need to walk the talk. We need to know what not to do. A lot of time, and this has been my learning 8 months, especially after merger. Strategy many times is all very clearly knowing what not to do. You cannot have toxic culture. Sometimes people tell me, oh, you are from Doha or you are from Hong Kong. No. We are all from IOH.
Yeah.
We are all from Indosat. Indosat is the anchor. So I think these are some of the softer but very difficult to do, and you have to keep building on that.
Yes, thank you. And Mao, I'll leave the final word to you. So you're in a privileged position because you work with so many telcos in so many countries. Where do you think we're at today in terms of this cultural change as an industry? Are we all moving at similar speeds, or are there highly differentiated speeds from one operator to the next?
No, Mark, I think Vikram also alluded to it. The real problem is there are a few things that's happening in the industry. One is the rate at which, the speed at which things are changing is accelerating at a much faster pace by the day. New technology, new consumer expectations, new marketplace, all kind of things coming in. What is making life very, very challenging, really challenging, is change management. And the only thing that I see from a distance, that our partnership and telcos that we work with, those who have a good control or a handle on change management are able to deal with this change well. Those who are not able to do it, sluggish or whatever you may say, are definitely not able to take advantage of this. Now, the ones that have done well, like the IOH, are very handful.
And I love the way you said it starts at the top, and I'm a true believer in that, that if you don't walk the walk, then you're going nowhere. So it sounds as if things are going well, so I wish you every success. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And look forward to seeing you around the show. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks.